First demand on the archives. Our archives, Honorable Speaker, is the oldest in Asia. And Tukyad Astali, that we have learned that even Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Ailotinga, he was there in that archives. He was even reading documents in Modi script. And therefore, I think we need to have a good archives building. The archives building Ashile and Mala, which was constructed in 1974-75, but then Kurke Padpa Lagle, and because it was leaking and flooding, it was moved out. Now, due to high salinity, that building could not be used, and we have shifted that, the government has shifted it to Ribandar. I only want the Honorable Speaker to inform us about the terms and conditions, on what rent, how was that building selected, and what are the facilities, because there are old and archival records which are being preserved over there, because they have to be preserved. They just can't be kept like as if stored in a room. And what is the manner in which they are being looked after and taking care of them. 20 years now have passed that a new building is under consideration for being built. So I would like the Honourable Minister also to state what is the status of that new building which is supposed to come up. Honourable Speaker, I think the Honourable Minister would have already been aware of the Vinayak Anand Shenvi Dume, who is a historian on temples and temple artifacts, whose noteworthy contributions, not only in books but also in publications, should be taken, because we need to preserve these artifacts, especially of the temples which have been lost or been dissipated. And he has told also where they are. And Dr. Nandakumar Kamath, who has given suggestions, I think the government could just kindly look into those things. I'm not saying accept everything, but at least look into the things. There's another thing which I want to point out is theft of artifacts. There is an international gang which is operating, which is robbing these statues. In 2012, a 55-year-old man, a security guard from Kurtorim, was murdered in that Christian art center in Old Goa. It was a Christian art gallery at Old Goa. And Indo-Portuguese artifacts worth crores of rupees were stolen. In 2013, that is November 2013, from Panjim, Vivek Menezes, the son of Lenny Menezes, he had written an article in the Times of India of 23rd November 2013. I'll just read that small paragraph which he wrote. He was educated in New York, so he was in America. Around a decade ago, I found myself transfixed by a luxurious shop's display in Mexico City, Mexico. Looking out at me in that unfamiliar setting of that capital city's most well-to-do neighborhood was an unmistakable glimpse of a home a dozen, exquisitely carved antique Madonnas with a placard below declaring, "Straight from Goa." I was shocked to learn that the store's proprietor had a source for regular supplies of similar rarities. We just ask for what we want and it is delivered in a few weeks. The pipeline came to mind when Goa was implicated last week as a steady source of illegal, stolen and smuggled antiques for Indian-born New York art dealer Subhash Kapoor. So magi arrest kello. But what I'm saying is that these are artifacts which are there even in houses and other places. I think we need to conserve them for our heritage and for our posterity. Next, I'll speak on demand number 57, which is social welfare. I only want the Honourable Minister to tell us what is the status of this Mukhyamantri Dev Darshan scheme. Tirupati oitale, magi Shirdi oitale, magi in this Valankini, sogल्या केले, मागीर जालें मागीर पयशे उणी केले, तें केले बंद केले, आनी आज सद्या हांव नेना कितें जाता चलता अजून आसतलें, ओ इलेक्शना पयले तुमी स्टार्ट करतले, कित्याक मागीर इलेक्शन फ्री बी म्हूण जातलें तें. As far as the DSS scheme is concerned, I say one thing. Whatever is being given for the people, whenever they are like these doles, they are for the poor people. They are for the people who need it. And if somebody else is robbing it, these are the greedy ones who are robbing. There are people who wait for their monthly 2,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees to come into their account. The time are einate, Honorable Speaker. And it suddenly so muinache push einat and ek don muinache etat. So what is happening is there's no continuity in this. We have to keep on phoning continuously. It should not be. There should be a system of a check and balance at the department level to make sure that they are getting. Also, occasionally a phone call can be made. Have you got the money? I'll tell you why. Because there was a case where your department kept on certifying by saying, "Sir, the system shows the payment is done." I had to send the passbook to show that payment was not coming. So on the system it was showing Paule, but physically Poishe Pao nahle. So this is what I want. And just before our Lok Sabha elections, 2-3 महिन्याचे payment release केले. At election kabar झाले, Poishe bond झाले. So please ask them to see what it is. And
excuse me, Speaker sir, I'll just make a mention.
Yeah.
There's only 1 महिन्याचे. असे केन्ना जायना की 4-5 महिन्याचे उरता.
दाखवत तुका. I will give you that.
Please
list.
give me.
I'll give you that list. With that
Because
bank
everybody
account-
will raise the same question. It's because of that I'm saying that only one, म्हणजे आमचे 1 महिन्याचे balance उरता तितकेच उरलेले आसा. And promptly answers म्हणजे हे केल्ले आसा.
हांव तुका दाखयता. It is not, I've seen the bank accounts and they say na, because they don't have 2-3 bank accounts. It's only one bank account. So I will send those to you so that you can immediately direct. That's what I'm saying. There is some, it may be to you and to the your department, their system is showing paid, but it may not be getting credited. That's what I'm just saying. Things slip asa. थोड्यांक document update कर म्हणला. So updation केला. थोड्यांगे pass जाले, पैसे येतात, थोड्यांगे येनात, as if it is pending. So please request to do that, expedite. There is now, when I opened out on this topic, some people undeserving also are claiming it. And to me, Maka last time answered on 5th February 2024, unstarred LAQ 37. You all had told me that 13,135 were discovered as ineligible. And you all answered below, you all are going to be recovering the money. I say that this is people's money, which should go to those who really deserve and not to the undeserving. That's why I call them greedy. So please give it to the needy and not the greedy. So therefore, please expedite the process of recovery. If maybe they were not eligible, that means they have the funds. There's no need of them crying and say, no, now such a big bill is come. If they want some time, give them time, but recover the money so you can take this money and give to the others who need it. You don't have to make more budgetary provisions afterwards. As far as the demand number 87, one more thing I'll just speak about is Atal Astra. Some forms have been cleared quickly, some remain indefinitely. Objections which have been taken in some files have been overlooked in other files. I will bring that to the attention of the Honourable Minister so that you can streamline the process. As far as the other is demand number 87, archaeology. आमचे कोरजुवें fort asa. Honourable Speaker, म्हाका answer दिल्ले आता on 15 July 2024 because काम काबार जालना. And the date of completion was 1st January 2024. The fort restoration is highly specialized work and requires skilled manpower and ready availability of quality restoration material. Currently, 60% of the project is complete. Major work of the outer landscape is pending. The delay in execution of the works is due to 1, unavailability of big laterite of stones of good quality and good coarse sand. And initially, there was a delay of obtaining NOC. The NOC and took delay of that owners. Those are my cousins. You had met them that day. They gave you the NOC. So as far as this big quality stones, big laterite stones and good quality coarse sand, I request, because when the tender was floated, I'm sure he knew where he was going to float it from. So he can't give on lame excuses. But even if you want to give him some extension of time, please fix a time limit by which it will be done. Others 5 years, this only will going on and it won't get complete. R&D demand now, it is demand number 77. Ferry ramps asatte. These ferry ramps are very dangerous. There are dangerous slopes, bad conditions. They need repair and renovation. And I have been told, Honorable Speaker, that PWD 500 hours geta ek ramp samki korpa. Kono motri magi te rokde zagi zatle ani kotle. I think you should pull them up, because if you're giving the work to them, otherwise you should directly tender it out and just get it done. Keep one engineer in your department or the PWD, ask Chief Minister to keep one engineer. He can certify things and you can go ahead. Otherwise, doing it this way, they calling somebody else, this will never end. So I would request that this be done. Just in a lighter vein, let it not be another Kala Academy. Demand number 89. We are talking of Department of Empowerment of persons with disabilities, Divyangs muntate. Honorable Speaker, तुम्ही त्या दिसा पळयल्ले ते CMA under गायल्ले, मागीर काडला आनी आयजींग गायला. That is the correct thing. And I want to compliment the Honorable Minister and his department for the wonderful work being done towards these special, this Divyangs, as you call them. And it has, our Purple Fest has drawn not only national but international attention. And I wish to compliment because the level on which you have raised the standard. Ani 2 minutes. I really want to compliment because it's not that we should always criticize, but when you do something good, I want to appreciate and say you have done something good because I have seen Honorable Minister put his heart, mind and soul to making sure that every small nitty-gritty of this is done and that they enjoy. The satisfaction of us, everyone, is to see the smile on the face of those people. And only one thing which I want to say is, आता असले भुरगे आहात तेन्ना इस्कलां they have an inclusive education because there are schools which allow these people, special children, divyangs, to come in. There are special educators. It can't be the ordinary teacher who comes and teaches. These special educators must know how to deal with children, must have training with them. They must have that kind of a background qualification and they should be able to handle. My only request is, why doesn't the department think of engaging them as permanent employees there, as special educators, then you put them out in the schools. This way it gives them a security of job, it gives them an updating, it allows them to coordinate with you and your department on what are things. They will also know what facilities you are extending. It's not only in classroom, and as you know, now the national education policy speaks not only of in class, but can be out of class. So these children can also be brought in maybe when you have workshops, talks, movies, whatever you do. Bring them for interaction and they will enjoy being part of this and being part of the school. So this is what I have. And finally, as far as old Goa illegal structures are concerned, around heritage zones, Honorable Speaker, there are different zones. One is the red zone, orange and the green zone. You know this way the zoning is done. The red zone is absolutely no development. Then you have a permissible development and outside is no problem. So in these, I would request you expedite the removal of unauthorized constructions in these zones and please restore the sanctity of each. This is just not only Old Goa, but everywhere, wherever there are illegal structures around the heritage sites, I think they should be removed with expedition.